Aloha! This is Shannon reporting, and welcome to Big Wave Small Talk. It's a podcast about big waves and how to survive them. This episode is supported by Red Bull Surfing. Today's guest is the Mr. Miyagi of big wave surfing, training the likes of world record holder Maya Gabeira and Lucas Chumbo, the Karate Kid of progressive big wave surfing. Burle is Brazil's first big wave champion.
Brazilian surfer has set a new world record, or that's the accusation, for riding the biggest wave ever ridden.
Hey, Shannon, how are you?
Tudo bem, obrigada. Como está?
Tudo bem. Happy Easter, Feliz Páscoa.
Feliz Páscoa. Yeah, thanks for joining me on this celebration day.
Thanks for having me.
We're probably celebrating a little different than normal.
Yes, we are.
How you're spending your quarantine?
Well, I'm in Hawaii with my family, and as you guys know already, Hawaii, it's been kind of lighter on the lockdown. We have to stay away from a lot of people, not gather too much. You know, a lot of things are closed, but we still can go to the beach, we still can go surfing, we still can use our bikes, we still can train. So I guess I'm in a good place with my family now. I have nothing to complain.
Have you talked to your friends and family in Brazil about the quarantine there and the differences?
Yes. As you know, Brazil right now, it's closed for surfing. So if you go surfing there and you are in a big city like São Paulo, I must say the state of São Paulo, you know, if you go to Guarujá or Maresias or places where the cops can cut you and, you know, they are taking people away from the beach, you're not allowed to go surf on those places. Some people are sneaking here and there because I see some footage everywhere, you know, people are still going surf, especially because we had two major swells in Brazil, really big swells.
Yeah, I saw some videos of Saquarema and like other places along the coast, just absolutely perfect, and some really big waves actually. One of a bigger swell than expected.
For sure. Yeah, we didn't see waves like that size for a long time. It's been a really good falls for us.
Well, so you're someone I wanted to bring on the show because I really appreciate your attentiveness to meditation and yoga. In the training, even of Lucas Chumbo, I've noticed you implement a lot of those practices.
Mm-hmm. Well, I try to bring all my experience to Lucas so he can try. You know, it's not that easy for him because he's very young. He has a lot of energy. It's kind of hard for him to stop and going through a meditation session or a yoga session. He's more spending energy than anything else, you know, he's more active than anything else. But I have the feeling that I need to present to him these techniques. He has to try, brings to his life, and whatever he thinks works for himself, he will keep training on that, you know. And that happened to me in my life too. You know, sometimes you experience something new in your life and you try for a while and then don't keep doing for a moment, and then in another moment in your life you start to do it again. So it's very important for us to understand that anything regarding being present, knowing how you're breathing, knowing how you calm your mind, trying to be focused all the time, it's important. Doesn't matter if it's meditation, yoga, or praying, or Reiki, whatever you're doing in your life. I think it's very important for an athlete to be aware of that power in mind when you have that conscience to be focused in the present.
Definitely. So paying attention not only the physical training, but the mental training.
Yeah, and that's very important, especially because when you're out there surfing big waves, Shannon, you need to be present all the time. You're taking a lot of risk, and you have to take decisions too, life and death decisions, and or maybe a situation that brings a lot of risk, and you might get injured, or you or a friend or someone in your team, and you are under those pressure. And if you don't have your mind in place, if you're not present, you're not going to take the right decision. And I know that by the fact, because I was surfing big wave for most of my life, and I still doing not as I used to do. And I know how important it is to be present and to be calm when you have moments like we are having right now in your life. You know, people are kind of going crazy right now because we are not used to this situation. You know, people are losing jobs, and you know, the economy is not doing so good, and we have to deal with a new environment because we have to stay at home mostly, and we are all under pressure now. So it doesn't matter how hard you train physically, if you don't have a good mind, at the end it's not going to work well for you. And so the mental side of an individual, it's the most important part for sure. That's where you're looking for, you know, emotional balance and having clear thoughts, be able to think. Even when you are under a 50, 100-foot wave, we still have to think, what are you going to do? You know, like, and I like those pressure, to be honest with you. I like when life brings to you moments like we are having now, because it makes me think more than usual. And well, I have to cope with my emotions.
How do you deal with fear? I've heard you say that you can use fear as a tool.
Yes, we all can do that. We all have to be grateful to fear in our lives. I have my son going around here. Sorry. Anyways, if you don't fear, you don't risk management in your life. You know, let's say, I'm going to give you a simple example to you. If you don't fear yourself when you cross a road, if you don't watch both sides to see if there is a car coming, you might get hit by a car and you might get injured or die. So you have to have fear. And by having those feelings, you have a plan. That's how you manage risk in your life. Let's say that we're gonna go surf, and I take you for a tow session in the biggest waves ever in your life. I have to manage your fear. I have to manage my fear of having you under my wing. I don't want to miss you. I'm gonna have to make a special plan to have you out there with me. So the most important part about having the fear and coping with it is, when you are scared, you know that your adrenaline goes up. You know that your heart beats stronger, your mouth gets dry, but also your reflex is sharper. So you have good sides of it, and you have the downside of it. The good side of it, you have more strength, you're more alert, you have more reflex. But the downside is, oh, you are stressed. You know, your heart is beating up. You have a lot of adrenaline on your veins. So you have to control that fear. And you have few techniques to do that. And one that is very important is breathing. You know, by breathing through your nose, slow, calm, abdominal breathing, and also being present, bringing your mind to the present. Instead of getting loose on your thoughts, keep control on your thoughts. Keep focus on your breathing. We love to do this, you know. You have a mission. Remember your training, follow the protocol, deliver a mission, and then later you can celebrate. I love that, you know, because I've been doing a lot of trainings with all my partners during my whole life. Maya, Scooby and Lucas and Kai, and a lot of guys from the big wave scene. And we've been through a lot of exercise where we have to be calm, otherwise we're gonna end up taking wrong decisions. And I know how important it is for us to be present. And I suggest you guys, if you guys can go ahead and do for your whole life, doesn't matter if you are a big wave surfer or not, it's very important for you to be able to cope with your emotions on the best way possible.
And a really big test of that, I think, is a place like Nazaré. You have maybe the tallest waves in the world, some of the most dangerous conditions, hardest place to drive a jet ski. Mm-hmm. How does a place like that bring an athlete to really challenge, not only challenge them, but show their ultimate potential or the limit?
Well, that's what we are looking for, and life it's a selection of who can accomplish the mission or not. And when it comes to big wave surfing, it is the top of it, because you can cope with a wave that it's medium size. But when it comes to be a big wave or a giant wave, it's even harder. So to be able to understand the whole environment and to hold your fears, to deal with your fears, your emotions, and to survive a big wave surfing and go back home and can celebrate with your family and friends, it's something very special. And it can make you more mature too. It can bring a lot of good experience that you live in the water to your normal life, like being patient, like respecting, resilience, like fall and be able to get up again. And I like to use those metaphors in my life. And when it comes to big wave surfing, it's a moment in my life that I can test myself even higher. I can go to another limit. As you know, Shannon, big waves like we surf doesn't happen very often. They are very rare. And it's hard for us to cope in the best way possible because we don't have that arena to train every day. It's different for a big wave surfer than it is for, let's say, a Formula One driver that has the best equipment and can drive his car every single day if he wants. Us, we train hard physically, mentally. We can try our equipment, but big waves, the kind of waves that we surf, they're very rare. So we have to have the extra guts to be able to go beyond our limits to experience, to see if our body can go beyond we ever thought before. We are able to cope with a really bad wipeout in a wave that we didn't see that size yet. And those kind of feelings, I think they are super special, because they have, of course, the tendency to take you out of your normal mindset. You get excited a week before even go out and surf those big waves because it's going to be a situation that you never faced it before. There is a huge swell coming and you never saw graphics like that before. You never saw waves like that size that they are predicted before. And how are you going to hold yourself? How are you going to prepare yourself? How are you going to team up? How are you going to put together the whole strategy? And you have to hold that tension and be able to cope with so many things in a different way and be able to settle down yourself to surf the biggest wave of your life. And that it's not easy at all because it's a matter to be in the right place at the right time and also deserve. Because surfing, it's a magical sport. Sometimes you plan everything just to get the best wave of the day and doesn't happen. But when you are present and you are feeling the situation and when you have the harmony, the best waves comes to you. And I like that game, Shannon. I really love that game. I think it's You know, it's one of the best things ever in my life. You know, just be able to be present on those big days and cope with the situation the best way possible.
Well, and you're still doing it. You know, you say you retired, but you just got 2020 Big Wave Award nomination for Ride of the Year from November 20th. Tell us about that ride and that day in Nazaré.
I remember that day I was with Lucas, and I got a couple waves for him, and then I said, Lucas, I want on one wave because it's so beautiful. I saw those big rides coming towards me, and I said, hey, Lucas, I want one small wave. And he didn't listen to me. You know how Lucas it is. He just turned and came for this biggest wave that came on that day, and I said, oh my God, I might as well just give it a try, you know, because it looks like it's going to be big, and if I make, it's going to be one of the waves of my life. So I tried, you know, I just rushed it down the line, and I put my weight down to see if I could make the last session, but unfortunately I didn't. And, you know, I had two choices at the end, or I would go straight, but I knew that the wave was so big and that would pick me on the base. And I decided just to try to kick it out, like I was surfing backdoor off the wall and just kick out through the wave. And because I had a lot of speed, I was able to make all the way up. And that was a very important point because I was able to breathe a little bit. You know, my mouth was out, just my mouth was out, and I breathed a little bit. So I had a little bit of air before I got exploded. But the explosion was so strong, and I couldn't hold, even though that I tried to focus myself and being just like a turtle. My leg got twisted and my whole body got twisted, and I felt right away. So when he came to me, I said, oh, I got the injury. I feel in my leg went off and got back to place. And I told him, go slow, you know, and my board went all the way to the shore. You know how bad it is, Nazaré, we don't have channels. So we went all the way to the shore, and I told him, go slow. And he was jumping waves, you know how Lucas it is, you know. But I like to have him around because he's very comfortable on top of the ski. He knows how to ride the ski very well. He knows how to read the ocean very well. I can trust him. It's just a matter that he thinks that I'm one of his peers. He thinks that I'm 25, I'm 30 years old, 35. No, he doesn't know that I'm 52. I have to keep saying to him, hey, listen, I'm 52, I'm older than your dad, and I'm here surfing with you, please. But it was great, you know. After the wave, I was screaming. I still dealing with that ride. You know why? Because it's funny. Everybody's doing their own thing in this quarantine time right now, and my thing is I have to recover from that wave, because when I pull in at the end of the wave, I got back with the wave sucked me up back, and then I got twisted, and my leg went off out of place, and my rib too, and I still feeling my back. And I still feeling my leg, you know, and that happened like 5 months ago, or maybe 4 months ago. And right now I'm in the gym where I'm staying. So my daily routine is stretching a lot. That's the sad thing about big wave surfing, you know. I'm going to miss a lot that rush, you know. I know that one day I'm not going to be able to surf those big waves anymore. And I'm going to miss. But at least I'm happy that I can, you know, as a coach, I can give it back to the new generation, feel of my experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think watching Gary Linden still paddling into huge waves in Mexico.
That's amazing.
I think it gives us all hope to really do as long as we want to.
I was talking to him, you know, the other day I called him. I love Gary, you know, I'm so grateful for everything that he has done for us in our whole life and career. And I was telling him, hey, Gary, we got to go back out there and surf again, because that's the best part of our lives.
Tell us a little bit about what it was like when you won the Big Wave World Tour. Back then, there were 4 events, I believe. And it was a different world, the wild, wild west of the Big Wave Tour. What was
we are raw, you know. I mean, we had few experience in between events, but was the first time that community wants to do a tour. You know, we didn't know how to do it, but Gary came up with this idea of putting together all the events, and we all love it. So we didn't know how we gonna to score the events and how we gonna do the ranks. And so we just decided to do the tour. So at the end of the tour, we didn't know who won the tour because we didn't have the scores for each event. We didn't have the rank yet, but I knew because I was in all finals that I had a chance. And we had great waves at Chile. We had great waves at Peru. We have amazing waves at Mavericks, the biggest ever. I remember, you know, the community say, hey, it's going to be huge. We're going to paddle. We're going to show everybody that we're going to be able to paddle. And that final was my best final, even though that I didn't win, but was my best final because I remember every scene, you know. I got some real waves that day, you know. And I had all my friends at the channel helping me, sharing and cheering and screaming. And then we went to Todos Santos for the last event, but we didn't know anything about the tour. I mean, the rankings, at the points, we didn't have anything yet. And I knew that if I did good at the event, I would maybe be a world champion, you know, but it was a surprise. So I ended up doing good. I did the final again, you know, so I went for 4 events, 4 finals. I didn't win an event. The best result was second that year, but I became the first big wave world champion. And I remember in '98, we had one big wave world champion. ISA did that. And I won that event. So I became a world champion that year by winning that event. And then when we decided to do the tour, I won again. So for me was unbelievable because I didn't expect. I wasn't running for the tour. You know, I was already working with the new generation, helping the new guys coming along with me. But because I love it, because I wanted to give it back to the community, because I wanted to build a better environment for everybody, I think was the karma, you know, good karma. You know, good karma? You know what is good karma?
I have it.
Yeah. So I'm just very grateful and super happy. And, you know, I remember everything about that year. And I remember Twiggy surfing really good. I remember Shane Dorian, all those guys, you know, James Sterling, you know, Peter Mel, and you know, we were on fire. I miss that. I hope we can get back to those days, you know, with more big wave events for this new generation because they are doing great. Huh? Don't you think, Shannon? They're surfing amazing, huh?
It's insane. I have so much respect for the progressive level of what Lucas is doing now in the water when it comes to making maneuvers on big waves, doing airs. Like Kai, Lenny, and Lucas Chumbo are 2 of the people that I think are pushing the sport the most, and you happen to be their coach. What was it like to watch them in Nazaré for this event, the Nazaré Toe Challenge, and how you know, does that bring you to today's level of what is possible? What was it like to watch that?
Oh my God! I think I was super happy just to see them having a blast because I know them very well, you know, and Kai, he's very happy all around. You know, he's a hard worker, he's a hard trainer, he's very professional, but he's super stoked about his life. So he's very grateful about any opportunity, and he can do anything when it comes to water sport. He can do anything, you know, he can kite well, he can windsurf well, he can foil well, he can anything, you know. And when it comes to big wave surfing, it's not different at all, you know. He's one of the best. And Lucas, also, he loves to surf. And some people, they are just, okay, we're just gonna paddle, or we're just gonna do this, we're just gonna, man, those guys, they are more like me. we're gonna go out. If we have to use a boom board or a stand-up paddle or toe board or like a big gun, doesn't matter. We're gonna go out and we're gonna rip. We're gonna have fun. So having them together, working together, and with this energy, and be able to perform us at that level, for me was a dreaming come true. Dreaming, was a dream come true because for me, it's a perfect team right now. It's the best team out there. As a toe surfer, and knowing that you need a good partner, someone that you can trust, having Kai and Lucas, two guys that know how to drive, rescue, and surf well. It's the best team. It's the dream team for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, it was incredible to watch, and just to see not only those two athletes there, but how big the waves were. Like Justine Dupont, also just an incredible demonstration of the women. And I was thinking a lot about the questions I was going to ask you today. I did want to bring up the moment with Maya Gabeira just briefly. I think that moment stands for me. It's a realization of what can happen out there, especially watching a woman nearly drown or actually need CPR and rescue. You mentioned that the big wave risk assessment helped you to train in order to deal with a situation like that. What was going through your mind? I'm sure a lot of adrenaline. But now looking back on it, what did you do right in those moments, and what was going through your mind?
Well, those moments, they need quick reaction. So you cannot get involved with your emotions. You have to be present, and you have to follow your protocol. Remember your training, and just do the procedure. Keep doing it. And that's what I have done that moment. I knew that was an emergency situation. I need to be close to her. I need to take her out of the water and do the CPR as soon as possible. And we had a great team. We had people on the beach. We had lifesavers. We had the ambulance, paramedics. So I did my part, and we had the team working with me. And I guess the other part Maya did, because she trained so hard her whole life. And she was able to cope with 2 waves hold down, losing her vest, getting pounded for a lot of time, getting drowned, getting a lot of water under her lungs, and still survive with no side effects, and be able to go back there and overcome the drama, overcome the trauma, and break the record.
The world record.
The world record. And oh my God, and she's alive. And a couple of days ago was her birthday. I think she just turned 33 years old. She was a young girl when we start work together. She was only 19. But I think we took risk a lot, me and Maya, and after that, we did a project which was getting her back to Nazaré, and then we decided not to do any work together anymore, and we totally respect each other for that decision. We still being friends, going out and surf, but in my mind, I knew that I went all the way to the top with her, to a point that we could have a fatality, and I don't want to go through that anymore, If I have to go through, it has to be with someone else, not with Maya. Otherwise, it would be too much, And we've been through a lot of things, a lot of things, me and Maya, because we have a similar way of thinking about approaching our sport. We have to work hard, we have to train hard, we have to deal with our limits all the time just to feel comfortable. and that's a lot of stress. You know, that's not easy at all, because you always on those situations that you are very close to have a breakdown. You are very close to have a breakdown, and it's right here. You know, it's on your mind. You have to be strong.
Well, thank you so much for all of this talk story. I think it's been great to have you. I appreciate all that you're doing to train the sport and to progress the level for all of us, especially the people, the proteges that you take under your wing. And yeah, do you have any other recommendations for people, maybe the people that are at home and can't surf? You have your gym there. Are there anything you'd recommend that they do at home to stay fit physically and mentally?
Well, Shannon, we have to deal with ourselves right now. And that's the most important thing, because we are used to go out and have a lot of distractions. Right now, we are kind of having to deal with us, you know, with ourselves. And people are going through a lot of uncertainty. We don't know what's going to come next after everything gets back to normal, because it's not going to go normal. It's going to be a different world. And we are limited on space too. So we have to sit more. We have to do more limited movements. So what I'm doing and what I suggest, it's communicate with yourself. Ask yourself, how are you feeling? Pains in your body, they are trying to tell you something. Emotions, they are trying to tell you something too, you know. So listen to your emotion, listen to your body. And what I'm doing, I'm gonna do real quick over here. I got this gym, and luckily I have enough space here, but you can look for a wall in your house. And if you put your leg up, let's see, you know, I didn't do this holding the camera before, but here I have my leg up. Can you guys see my leg up?
Yeah.
You know, so right now I can, let me take my cap off so I can open my leg like this. Oh my God. See? I use the gravity to open my legs. One side and the other side. And I'm very close to the wall over here. And this, it's a great stretch because it relieves the weight on your back and works on your hamstring and your low back too. And it's really good to put your spine straight. And as you reach the best and most comfortable but still stretchy, you gotta breathe well through your nose. Don't stay like Carlos right now, speaking and breathing to your mouth. Just breathe to your nose, be calm, put all your air down. You wanna breathe through your nose and bring your air down and pushing all your vertebrae to the right place, your ribs to the right place, putting them down and making it with a lot of rhythm on. And that's what I suggest to you guys, you know, do a lot of stretch and take this time to know yourself better. So whenever you go back to normal life, you're going to feel strong.
Great advice. Perfeito. Muito obrigada, Carlos. Feliz Páscoa para vocês e para sua família. Much aloha to you guys during the whole quarantine.
Aloha. Obrigado você, Shannon. Beijo pro pessoal do Brasil. Thank you guys very much.